it looks like this thing's running. And I think there's red lights. That's about all I know. Okay, we'll go with that.
Oh! Hello and welcome to a very spooky edition of the Stereoscope podcast. I'm the Wolfman.
I'm Ghostface.
I'm Jason.
And well, we've got a little bit something different here today. We're shooting in our spooky dimension with our spooks and ghouls surrounding us, and we're going to be talking about horror and horror in VR and how it sort of horror is amplified in every way in VR and just sort of makes it a better experience, makes it more terrifying. And there's a lot of horror experiences out there. It's one of the reasons why I've been as interested in VR as I have been, is because it always had so many incredible horror experiences. We're also going to be doing the end of the show to talk about the Samsung Galaxy XR, which premiered yesterday, and pretty much it's the biggest meteor to come out of the VR industry in a while. All right, so we're going to start with the horror stuff first, and then we'll get into Samsung Galaxy XR later on.
It's not spooky enough.
Yes, I for one am terrified.
Okay, first off, we've got a selection of VR games. This is not going to be comprehensive in any measure, just things that I've played, that Sean have played, that Anthony have played, that we thought in some way sort of just stuck out or had good experiences, that type of thing. There are literally, probably dozens and dozens of horror experiences on the Quest at this point. But at one point there weren't that many. There were, maybe a handful. Now there's probably like 30 to 40. Yes. And the first one we're going to talk about is a game that came out a couple years ago exclusively for MetaQuest, and that's Resident Evil VR, the remake of the original GameCube game, not the PlayStation 5 remake VR experience. This one is exclusive to MetaQuest, and it's a VR port that was made by in tandem with Meta of the original Resident Evil 4. So, Sean, you played a little bit of it. What did you think?
I was terrified. Pretty scary.
I mean, Resident Evil 4 is already like
It's iconic.
It's very iconic. I mean, some people consider it the best survival horror game of all time. I think it's more of a survival action game personally, but
yeah, I've played I've been playing Resident Evil in different iterations, right? There's the VR experience where you're not kind of camera locked, you know, which I thought was interesting, but I have to say that the best part about Resident Evil is dying
and seeing your body horribly mutilated.
Yeah. And then kind of stepping outside of your body.
Well, I mean, and the crazy thing is that when this first came out, this was not the first official VR Resident Evil game. So Resident Evil and VR, it sort of goes along together. But this was the big one, and this was a really special game because it's a really well-made port. I've been playing Resident Evil. I think my relationship with horror might actually go back to the first Resident Evil game. I played the first Resident Evil game on PlayStation. My buddy and I rented it from a Hollywood Video in 1997, and we played through the first disc with and that moment where the dog busts through the window in that first hallway. That is probably one of my most memorable gaming experiences. I can remember exactly where and when I was when that dog burst through the fucking window.
Where were you?
I was at my buddy's house in San Diego. Chula Vista. Yeah, 97. And it's interesting because Resident Evil stretches so far back at this point. I mean, how many movies did they make? They made 6 of them.
That's right. A lot of real paycheck for Mila Jovovich.
Did you guys ever see that first Resident Evil movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Paul Paul
I
Anderson.
think so.
W.S. Anderson, not Paul Thomas Anderson.
Not
Yeah.
EPT.
The guy, the part where the guy gets like laser cut by into meat, like little meat cubes.
Meat cubes.
It was
that?
inventive for its time, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
pre-Saw,
Delicious meat cubes.
that first Resident Evil movie isn't too bad, but everything after that, oof. But
yeah. Well, we don't talk about that. We only live it.
I mean, we can talk about it, but
Do we want it? No.
no,
I mean-
we don't have to. But what I'm saying is that like Resident Evil as a franchise is sort of goes hand in hand with video game horror.
And this is Resident
it's quintessential.
Yeah, it's quintessential. It should be on VR, but this is the game we're playing is Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And I missed the first 3 VRs.
Well,
You know,
I
like-
mean,
It's a port of the 4th, right, entry.
well, technically,
In gameplay.
you can play Resident Evil 2, 3 in VR on PC with mods.
Through through the point of view of the actual of like either
Yeah,
Claire
so
or Leon,
it's like some PC VR mods. But here's the thing, they're janky as hell. Like your movement is still like tied to the camera sometimes, so like it'll take control away from the camera, and all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh my god.
Yeah, like cutscenes are terrible.
Yeah, and that's the things that like Resident Evil 4, the first Resident Evil VR game was Resident Evil 7 for the original PlayStation VR. It was never ported away. So like that experience, the Resident Evil 7 VR port for PSVR, is still the only place where you can play that, which is really frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the really unfortunate thing about a lot of VR ports is no one's ever going to pay them to be ported again. You know?
So it's up to us.
It's up to you.
Well, in some ways, yeah. Like the fans to sort of like hack it together through mods and stuff, which sometimes work, but sometimes the mods are, they're not as slick as real games. And I mean, you tried that RoboCop VR mod.
Which works pretty well until it doesn't. But
Until
like,
it doesn't, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like,
and it's the same. That thing, it's the same type of things with the Resident Evil 7 VR mods,
Yeah.
where it's like
I can imagine.
part of it works,
Yeah.
but then the part that wasn't designed for it
Goes real bad.
goes real
fast.
bad real fast. Exactly.
I was so impressed with what's the one that, not Doom.
Not Doom,
What's the other one
but
that they've modded and you can play it?
Oh, like Quake, but they
Quake.
also did Doom.
Yeah, I think it's Quake 3 is the other one that I've gotten modded.
Oh yeah.
And works really, really well.
Oh,
I was
Doom
shocked.
3.
Doom 3. Maybe
Doom
Doom
3.
3.
Yeah. Those are the Mr. Dr. Beef ports.
Yeah, whoever
So-
did that was.
Well, so they've worked on Dr. Beef has worked on, I think, so that there's a Doom mod, there's a Doom 3 mod that's really good. There's a Quest standalone version, and there's a PC VR standalone version. There's Half-Life, there's Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast. That VR port is really good. We should cover that stuff. In fact, we should just do an entire episode about Team Beef
Port, yeah.
ports. They even have a Return to Capital Wolfenstein that's also standalone.
Nice.
Quake 1, Quake 2, Quake 3. Though playing Quake 3 in VR is, because that was an arena shooter.
Yeah.
You know? So like, the movement speed is jacked up, and you're doing all these crazy jumps and stuff. And
yeah, you're flying. It's unsettling. It's like being in an earthquake.
vomit comet.
Yeah.
You know, and me being a wolf man,
Don't like to be in the sky.
yeah, I like to stay on the ground.
You're not an
Four-
indoor
mostly on
wolf.
all fours.
Yeah.
Four paws on the ground.
Yeah,
Four paws on the ground.
you're not. You don't want to get stuck in the castle all night long.
Yeah, and so like with Resident Evil 4, when it finally launched, like that is a beloved game. So people are very critical about like, would the gameplay hold up? Is it too actiony? And I think it actually translated to VR super well, because like if you want, because like there's a lot of melee combat in that game, and if somebody comes at you, just swipe them with your knife.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I thought it was a lot more fun to get caught with your pants down, so to speak.
Mhm.
It's not the same thing as the don't go in that door because we're camera locked. It's oh, I knew this was going to happen, and if you weren't ready for it, it's almost kind of a relief.
Yeah. I mean, some of those, like especially when you get chainsawed in half, it's pretty visceral.
Why is it still 4? Like they only ported 4.
Well,
Is
it's
it-
because Resident Evil 4 is the only one they could port and actually have it run well on the Quest 3.
Yeah,
or
I'm
Quest
curious
2
about
and
that.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why, because it was based on a GameCube game.
it's a mystery.
They could make it look good, but also run well enough on the hardware. They couldn't port Resident Evil 2 or 3 or Village to the Quest 3 and have it actually run on mobile chipset. I mean, they could, but it would have been really, really difficult.
I wonder if it's just the generation that you're at. Like, is it PS4 3, 2? Which one was Resident Evil 4 on?
It was on Resident Evil, PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
GameCube, and then it got ported to like Xbox 360 and PS3.
I'm just asking the big questions.
All right, yes,
Yeah.
the very
We're
important question.
Off track of this one.
Okay, so generally the Resident Evil 4 gameplay, it's they did an incredible job of sort of translating the gameplay to VR. It's an excellent port. You should definitely check it out. It was probably playing somewhere around here. The footage of it,
More likely.
maybe right here. But it's an excellent game. Highly recommended. Especially if you play it now with like Quest Game Optimizer, it looks incredible. Because they didn't really do a Quest 3 port. It was just the regular Quest 2 version. They did some tweaks, but they can look a lot better with Quest Game Optimizer. So, moving on. The Exorcist Legion VR. So this is another like old VR experience, but it's one of my favorites. It's based on, so it's sort of like these chapters of exorcism experiences. There's 5 of them. I think they added a 6th one recently.
Exorcism experiences, as in, you don't just get one exorcism, you get several exorcisms as part
For the
of a
price of
story.
one.
Choose your own exorcism.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That bitch sucks cocks in hell. Yeah.
Yeah, just more than one,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
But it's actually based on not the first Exorcist movie. They had the something weird that I noticed a few years ago is there's a lot of VR games based on horror movies. Like you've got like Paranormal Activity, The Lost Rites, or The Last Rites. You've got Blair Witch, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Different point of view.
The Exorcist Legion, and The Exorcist Legion is actually in reference to Exorcist 3, which is one of my favorite horror movies, and I actually think it's better than the original Exorcist.
Did you see Exorcist 3?
I did not.
So it starts
Starts with Uno,
So it's about
who was always singular.
You only needed one exorcism. You've seen them all.
Exorcist 3 is really good. It was directed by the guy who wrote the novel, William J. Blatty. And so this game has the license to that, so they can only really reference things in that movie.
Do you know anything about the writer for the game? Is it several writers or just?
I don't know, actually.
We should really look that up.
I mean,
Or
yeah.
encourage, at least, I don't know. I'm going to do my homework after we finish our exorcism.
Well, anyways, the game is you play a priest, and in the first chapter, you're sort of investigating your predecessors' experiences going around the globe looking for demons and like Pazuzu and all of that. And you have these like weapons, like a crucifix that shoots holy light, and these like little capsules that have
holy
water and stuff. And then you're fighting this like pig demon, and everything goes wrong, and it's really, really intense and visceral.
Yeah.
And it all sort of like each one of these experiences, they're all about 15 minutes long. Like you explore a place, and then you get like context clues, and then they ramp up into some like really intense bouts of like horror. Like there's one that later takes place in a sanitarium, and that one's really cool, where like the floor drops out and becomes
Oh
fire,
my God.
and the woman who's in the sanitarium who's possessed is like throwing you against the wall and stuff. It's very, very crazy. But this is another one of those things where like this was on the PSVR, the original PSVR, and it looked better on that. There was also a PC release, but this version that we played on Quest 3 just now, that version is actually almost, the developers said, is almost feature complete with the PC version now. So it looks as good as it ever did on PC VR on Quest 3 now. I think you can probably push some higher resolutions on PC VR, but in terms of like textures and stuff,
Yeah, it's still great though.
it's still pretty much, and that's a really interesting point in VR and generally like standalone headsets, is that we're getting to a point now where
Yeah, we're getting to this point where you can take what's old, make it new, but it's not it's not a gimmick. There's like
there's this legendary, like one of the first horror games that was ever released in VR. They did the same thing. They ported the original PC VR version to the headset, and it's almost exactly one-to-one.
Nice. Yeah.
And so like, as we're going to talk about later, the GalaxyXR and stuff,
oh yeah,
standalone headsets are getting very, very impressive, and almost like they're almost the device itself now. Like,
Yeah.
and Quest 3 has already been like that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you write towards the actual hardware on the Quest 3, it looks great.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if you're tailoring experiences for that and knowing the limitations going in, it really helps you. Like, I mean, there's a couple games on like on Quest 3 that look absolutely stunning. It's only the ones that sort of like try to port and have a small team and that type of thing. Like, I think most Quest games at this point that are made with the hardware in mind look good.
look great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mostly about like tailoring your art style and that type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. Like we played Blair Witch,
Mm-hmm.
Phasmophobia, Exorcist, Legion, and those aren't ports, right? Those are original.
Well,
like Oculus
yeah, all of those games you can play on the Quest 3. We played just now both the PC VR versions of Phasmophobia and Blair Witch, but then at the end there we were playing the mobile version, the standalone version of Blair Witch.
Oh really? Wait.
It's
you were
interesting
playing-
to see the difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you saw the details in the PC VR version were dramatically more
Yeah.
textured. That is an example of, because that Blair Witch port came out in 2023, so like two and a half years old at this point.
Yeah.
And even for the time, I think, because Bloober Team also did Layers of Fear VR port, which is a pretty faithful but also doesn't look as good. And they're also doing that upcoming Star Trek Infection game where you play like a Vulcan who gets infected and you have to go around the ship like mind melding with people.
Huh.
Bloober Team is also doing this new Star Trek horror game that's coming out later this year,
Interesting.
which
Yeah.
seems pretty up my alley for sure.
Seems like you could get some. Yeah, that's a really interesting way to structure a story like device. It's
Yeah. A Star Trek horror game isn't really something that you're like really jumps out at you at first. But like, there've been, I mean, First Contact is like half of it's like a
it's an
it's
apocalyptic.
like a Borg zombie
Right,
film,
yeah, basically.
halfway. Yeah, and then there's like
There's a third season of Strange New Worlds.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
which was a little bit half baked with the writer's strike, but very heavy on the cosmic horror.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Seems like science fiction, fantasy, and horror are kind of close cousins.
For sure. I mean, Alien, of course.
Which I think is like why maybe VR and horror kind
Yeah.
of like
Event Horizon. Oh man,
Oh,
Event
wow,
Horizon
Event
would make
Horizon.
a really good VR game. or like something in that like
Yeah.
realm.
Do you remember the Star Trek movie in the Calvin timeline where they went back and found Idris Elba?
Yeah, Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, do you remember how like basically they had the same problem with Event Horizon? They kind of reached the edge of like known space, but everything was preserved. And you would see like old like panels in the I forget which NX it was, but they looked like the same panels you would see on like today on like a Toyota Prius, like an old Prius.
Sure.
You know,
I
it was
remember
horrifying.
I remember the first time I saw a Prius in the like a movie that took place in the future with like an old Prius, like was Children of Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got that old hippie guy who's like driving around the like Prius from like 2004.
Yeah,
you know?
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
Yeah.
And Children.
They go to his refuge.
Historically accurate. Those are like some of the most bulletproof cars.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's Gen 2 Prius, right?
Yeah, Gen 2.
There's still so many of them on the road.
I do
Like,
see them occasionally around. I wonder what they're in. You said that it only costs like $500 to replace their battery at this point. Something like that?
You can find refurbished batteries online
For free,
for
I think?
hybrid batteries and like full EV batteries.
But specifically the Prius battery, you said it was like down to like $500.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
I
like
saw
that.
some deals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not to, you know, a cursory Google search for refurbished EV battery could save you a lot of money if your battery just completely like honks out.
You know, but what's really scary? Having your battery down to like 5% and you need a charge.
I was just gonna say range anxiety.
Range anxiety. That's real scary.
Yeah, but hey, you know, we do live in a civilization that's kind of default anxiety right now.
Yeah. Ratchet it up.
Yeah.
Causing, you know,
Yeah.
Halloween panic attacks and thus.
Yep.
It's good. It's great. We're doing.
Oh, the horror.
Okay, moving on. We played Death Horizon Reloaded. This is actually a game that Sean and I we used to play this all the time. So it's a multiplayer. It was like a Quest game from like I think even possibly the Quest 1 era.
Yeah.
That got a Quest 2, and then they updated this game quite a bit. They would always do like new textures and stuff like that. It was pretty low fidelity,
Yeah.
but the gameplay was decent. It was one of the first co-op VR shooters on the actual Quest devices.
A lot of options on how to get maimed, kill, maim. You know, like
You could dual wield.
Yeah.
You could
It was one of the
people over the head with crowbars and stuff. It was great.
Right. It was like a hack and slash version of Half-Life with very minimal story.
Yeah, very very minimal story. You would effectively go down these like hallways, and there would just be like waves of zombies, and there'd be like every level there'd be like slightly better weapons, but you had a buddy with you, and so you could sort of take them on co-op mode.
I think it was one of the first co-op games where they employed like the use of multiple points where you could have stuff.
Yeah.
Because in a horror apocalypse, you want to rat pack and water boy your way.
Yeah, like Zombieland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wave 2 was like, I don't think I think that's what got me through sleepless nights in the middle of 2020. You know,
Fighting zombies.
yeah, fighting zombies with you, buddy.
Yeah. We also played Half-Life Alyx during COVID for the first time. And do you remember how we played it at first?
Refresh this tired old brain.
So
He's killed a
We
lot
didn't-
of people since then.
Killed a
well,
lot
I
of
didn't-
brain
I didn't
cells
have-
since
I
then.
didn't have a PC that was I didn't get a PC that was Half-Life Alyx capable until the end of 2020. The way we first played it when Alyx first came out was over that streaming service.
Oh, Shadow.
Shadow. We played it on Shadow PC, which had a VR mode. You could hack it to play VR games, and so we played this like compressed, highly latency bound like version of Half-Life
Version
Alyx.
of Alex.
Yeah, where like you move your hand and like
Yeah.
almost 2 seconds later the game follows your hand. But we got pretty far. We got like almost halfway through the
Yeah.
entire game.
It was
Playing
reliable.
on Shadow PC.
Yeah. Slow but reliable. The old Shadow.
I wonder if they've improved their
I think
their
that
VR implementation.
I think a lot of the teams that worked on Shadow moved into NVIDIA, GeoForce now, PlayStation.
Well, you know, Meta's actually been working on like a cloud rendered like streaming service for a while, but they've implemented it in for certain users. Like one dude like showed up and he was like, yeah, I was able to like launch into what's the
to Steam.
what's that game? Asgard's Wrath. He was able to launch into the PC version of Asgard's Wrath over his network. And it was streaming on some server, and he was pretty sure that it was an accident and he'd been authorized incorrectly. Because he was like, I didn't do anything, it just showed up and I started playing it.
What?
Yeah.
My eyebrows are raised, not frowning.
Yeah, so like Meta has been trying to do sort of testing the ground for, because like I use GeForce Now. I've been a GeForce Now subscriber since I'm a founder, so like since it began. And I'm just gonna always keep it because it's only $5 a month, and it is an incredible service.
Wow, you were granddaddied.
Yeah, it's a lot more now. I think it's like $10.99 now.
You don't get a
my
cube?
level.
Oh my goodness.
But like it's so like everything runs so buttery smooth, and you can go up to like 1440p. They even have HDR enabled now, so like it's a pretty good value. Everything runs really well.
Have you been able to play? Have you been able to like? We remember when we were playing Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh yeah.
In 3D through
Star Wars Squadrons
Steam
in VR is like one of my all-time favorite VR experiences.
I think that was through the Shadow.
And I got really good. No, I was playing locally. You were playing on Shadow.
Yeah. Because I didn't have I
had a PC at that point. And I actually got really, really good at that game to the point where it's like I was a top-ranked player for a while.
Well, you know, you had good batting practice.
Yeah. It was also like I used to play. Shout out to Richard, one of the guys who worked on the X-Wing games, X-Wing Alliance. I met him a couple years ago, and he's given me a lot of Lucasfilm merch, or LucasArts merch, that is, Totally Games merch. I grew up with X-Wing Alliance, and it was one of my absolute favorite like games. You can play that in VR now. We should do an episode about that.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, when we get that Pedro Pascal comes back.
But that Death Horizon game, it was impressive that it was able to get like that co-op experience running on a standalone headset in like 2022 or 2023 or whatever. Now there's countless co-op games. There's like there's even more like there's like Hunt Together, another Phasmophobia itself, which we're going to talk about.
That's
a little
the thing is Death Horizon is limited to 2-player co-op, but like if there was like a 4-player like Phasmophobia,
I think it actually goes up to 4-player.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, they have added.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think it was always capable. We just didn't have 4 friends.
God, what are we doing here? Yes.
I mean, Jeffrey has a headset. You have a headset. We could technically get 4 people in, but we're adults.
Yeah,
And
some of us are married.
Friends.
Yeah. It's like that old meme, like your Xbox friend profile, like the last time everyone logged on. It's like 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, and so now next we're gonna move on. Death Horizon, it's still a great game. They have another game that came out. It's like a cyberpunk themed one. I haven't picked it up, but it looks good. Lots of value out of these games. They're usually pretty cheap, like less than $10. Phasmophobia. So this one is actually pretty legendary at this point. Phasmophobia launched during COVID, like in 2020 or 2021, I remember. And it is a wild one because Phasmophobia sort of like rocketed and became absurdly popular really quickly.
It did, huh? It wasn't just.
Well, it had the streamer effect.
Yeah.
It had the like influencer effect where like streamers were playing it and like going crazy and stuff, and really just like so Phasmophobia, if you don't know anything about it, it's playing right here. It is a ghost hunting game where like you have all of the various ghost hunting devices from like real world ghost hunting, like all those stupid shows. Um,
Kind of like one of these, right?
I mean, less
Well,
like that, but yes,
yeah.
in that vein.
Less IP centric.
Yeah, especially animated series centric.
But really, like, yeah, all this equipment looks like ghost hunting. You know, you've got microphones, you've got flashlights, tape
This is
recorders.
just as real as what they use.
Oh, wait, actually,
That's
have you
true.
seen this?
That is just as real as what they use.
This is actually a 3D printed PKE meter from the real Ghostbusters. If you'd like more information, just drop the comment and I can send you the link to
The guy
to
who
the
made
builder.
it.
Yeah, they're an amazing artist, and they have thousands of these. Some of them are B grade and on heavy discount.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, like, all of the various devices that they use for ghost hunting, right? It's like EM readers and, like, microphones and flashlights. In Phasmophobia, what you do is, like, you're trying to find different types of ghosts. And generally, each type of ghost can be sensed by different types of creatures. Or, different type of
Tools,
Tools, yeah. So, like a certain ghost will only be able to be detected by the EM radar, but another one you can only see through the camcorder. And so like you go into the house and you talk to the ghosts and like try to eke them out, but if they don't like you, they'll kill you. And sometimes they grab you and snap your neck. Sometimes they eat your soul. But
Any slashing?
I don't think there's any like
quite.
Jason.
Not quite.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
Jason.
more of an
No slashing.
existential slashing.
Yeah.
It's
They slash your soul.
yeah, all with insane sound effects. Like there's this whole thing where I'm not sure if it was the first game to employ spatial sound in a VR.
It was definitely one of the first ones.
Yeah. But some of those, this is what I read. I don't know if this is real or true or not, but that some of the sound, some of the ways they would like amp up the anxiety, were like subliminal sound, like frequencies that are that maybe your dog could hear, but we would just make us feel weird or something. I played that game. I just having that as a thing in my head going in. It's like suspension of disbelief. Truly unsettling,
I mean, it's designed to be a multiplayer game, so it's designed like for like each person to have different tech and then be like, oh, we need to use this one, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But you can play it single player, and it's been ported to like everything now. I think there's even a flat version you can play. Like you can play it just with like a controller, and if one of your friends doesn't have VR or whatever, it is pretty difficult to control that way. And I will say that the game, despite the fact that it has like single player mode, it's still like fairly clunky, and there's not really like a storyline at all. But it's still really fun, and it's terrifying. It's like one of those games that every time I jump in, I'm gonna play it for like 2 hours tonight, and then I play it for 45 minutes because I'm too scared. That's a big There's a very significant like all of these games are sort of like that, except for maybe Death Horizon, where it's like you really
a lot of
expect
slashing.
yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Death Horizon, lots of slashing. Yeah. In fact, I think you even get like a machete.
Nice. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Phasmophobia is great though, and strongly recommended. I think most of you probably have heard of it by now, but for those who haven't, check it out. And now this last one, this is actually one of my all-time favorite VR horror games. It's a game that I've bought different. I originally played the flat version on Xbox Game Pass when it was released exclusively to day and date on Game Pass back in 2019, I think.
What is it?
It's Blair Witch VR. Yeah, so we've all played it. So this is an interesting one because it's based on the Blair Witch like franchise IP, though it's only sort of like loosely connected to it. You do technically see like the Blair Witch and the titular cabin from the end of the first movie. It does make a terrifying return at the end of the game, but other than that, you're just lost in the woods.
It feels like thrice removed from the earliest version of the franchise. But there's also a dog.
Oh yeah, Bullet. So you have this dog companion that follows you around. You can like give him commands and stuff, and he follows you around the whole time. And it it would be the game would be a lot harder trudging around in that darkness without it.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
Anthony, you just experienced
Yes.
that. What do you think?
I mean, I loved it. I loved it. Like, talking about the flashlight.
Yeah, just in general. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes the game work really, really well is the flashlight, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, partly because it is spooky all on its own, but I love the way it sort of narrows your surroundings and like
Mhm.
you're only able to look at a couple of things at a time. It's a really good like I like the cutscenes were great actually as well. Like where they're like blurring. So there's a lot of like cinematic choices that were made in the game that I think play really, really well in VR. I
Yeah.
love that the faces were blurred out and they're
Oh,
like,
and the
dreams
camera,
and stuff like that.
like when you pull up the
The
camera and it
whole
like
function of that, like
so
it's
it's so this is another Bloober team game. And Bloober. So when this came out, Bloober had been sort of in a rut. They'd been doing a lot of horror games. They came out with this game, The Medium, that was supposed to be like Silent Hill, but it wasn't scary enough. And so they're
They're spelled Bloober.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bloober. So around this time, they got sort of caught up making all these like psychological horror games that may not be dealing with the psychological element particularly well, or problematically. I always thought those concerns were a little overwrought.
Example.
Well, a couple of their games in a row dealt with mental illness in ways that were maybe like 2010s era of like
Kind of.
thoughts behind them, you know. I don't think it really affected the game that much. Anyways, so with this one, it is a game largely about mental illness and PTSD. So like, there's some very very intense traumatic imagery and themes in this game, but there's also like a really really great
Dog.
and like foreboding atmosphere and also like use of the Blair Witch property. I think it's really well utilized here
and not overutilized.
and not
Which
overutilized because the gameplay largely stands on its own, but then incorporates the Blair Witch to sort of like, because it's implied that the witch is like manipulating you into doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do, which is the plot of the first two movies at least.
Right.
I guess the third movie as well, but
Really using that the plot of every Salem's Lot.
yeah, and it's another game where like you've got all these devices, like you've got like a cell phone and a
Flashlight,
walkie-talkie and a flashlight, and then one of the really cool things about the game is you get a camcorder, and then there will be moments where you get these tapes, and you can rewind and fast forward time.
Yeah, the camcorder is another tool to detect like parts of the story and affect the story, but it's also like really interesting how it's kind of
And it's like
story.
it's like a meta thing. It's sort of like you know, I've always said that screens inside of screens in VR, when utilized really well, can be a very very compelling sort of meta deconstruction of our relationship to media.
I thought you said screams instead of screams.
Oh, well, maybe I did. I didn't.
My eyebrows are raised.
And Blair Witch, it's not very long. It's only about maybe 5 hours long. Not a lot of replayability factor, but I hadn't played it in a couple years, and so playing it again this year was really nice. And damn, it can be dark and very, very oppressive at times. It is one of the only games, some people would call it like a walking simulator, and that use that as like an epithet, but I don't know. I think it's got an incredible amount of atmosphere and dread. It's one of the only games that truly scares me still to this day, and I've played it all the way through twice. So yeah. Anyway, so like horror in general is really maximalized in VR, and I think it fits perfectly with the medium. There's, I think VR video, immersive video, really hasn't explored horror too much. Faceless Lady was really good.
Faceless Lady. I mean, anything that Eli Roth has been working on.
Any of the scare.
They're not all great, but they're good.
They're not all great, but they're all at least well thought out
and interesting. Like,
And
I mean, they've all
interesting,
been
for sure.
like pushing boundary. Every version is like.
They're trying something out, even if sometimes it doesn't always work. At least they're doing something fresh with the medium. And Faceless Lady was absolutely that. It was like a breath of fresh air, and
It seems like there's a lot more to explore in that medium.
Yeah, and I just really hope that studios will keep funding that, and especially like if it's not locked behind an Apple Vision Pro walled garden, where I think it is important for them to deliver that type of content to the people.
Apple?
Apple specifically, yeah.
Yeah, well, Apple was the first true horror. You remember that apple that fell down, and then somebody had to pick it up, and oh my God, it just got. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you can Google it. Just
you can Google something you can read in the Bible. Yes. Anyways, so that's our section on horror in VR. And we're going to make a pretty huge shift here because we did still want to talk about the biggest news topic.
Sort of dropped
while we were planning this episode.
The last second.
Yeah.
The last
I knew that they were going to be announcing it. I didn't realize they were going to literally release it. And also, they originally said the rumors were that it was only going to be released in South Korea.
Right, this is true. We talked about this, yeah.
But it looks like they scrapped that at the last second, which I think is probably for the best.
Yeah.
They're talking about Samsung's Samsung XR.
Yeah, so
a company also based in South Korea. Yes. Yeah. Oh, excuse me, Galaxy. Yeah. Not the phone.
Not the phone. Yeah. So this is Samsung and Google's first standalone XR device.
Oh God, standalone.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, it feels so much better.
The last time that Google and Samsung were in the VR space, other than Samsung's PC VR headsets, was back in 2016 and 2017, and they were actually they were competitors at the time. They were doing the Samsung Gear VR and the Google Daydream.
Oh yeah.
And now they're working on a device together. I think it's really interesting because I had a Samsung Gear VR, which, if you remember, was a little VR device that you would put your phone into, because they thought, everybody's got one of these flat panel screens already on them. What if we just mass produce the little VR part? And it wasn't great.
It was a gateway drug.
It was a gateway drug. It absolutely got me,
Yeah, you see a lot of those at the Goodwills these days.
I think that was my first VR experience. Well, modern one anyway.
And then Google, also they thought Google followed them into the fray with their own version of it, the Daydream, and less than a year later, Daydream was dead. Gear VR was dead, and really, even despite the fact that they
sorry,
what?
It's just it's horror, it's Halloween, it's dead.
Everything's dead.
I thought you were doing a pun, but
it's dead. Yeah.
But it is dead.
Where was I going with this?
Wuhan kind of brought Samsung, Google, and Qualcomm. They're cousin
back together. Yeah,
the reunion.
They kissed, they made up, and they decided, hey, let's launch
let's make a baby.
Let's make a baby together.
Yes.
And that baby is the Samsung Galaxy XR, which was released yesterday for $1,800 USD. Which
not including controllers.
Not including controllers, yeah, which are $250 extra. I will say there were some leaks last year or earlier this year that said that the device was going to cost upwards of $2,000. I actually about 6 months ago, I said that I thought the price would be $1,800.
You were on the money.
I was right on the money, yeah. But that was I was never sure if they were even going to make controllers though. So
Yeah.
So why do we need the
but
controllers?
$2,050 including controllers. That's still $1,350 less than the Apple Vision Pro.
It's a pretty pricey
Without controllers.
Christmas Avenger.
Well, and that's the other thing. The controllers for Apple Vision Pro, the Sony PSVR touch controllers, those are also $200.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, you know, you gotta.
So what do you think about the price point?
Well, I mean, first of all, the controllers, like that's got to be where one of the places they're going to make up some of the
for sure
the profit margin.
Yeah, because those controllers don't need to be $250.
Yeah, they're maybe $50.
I wonder if they're gonna be some third-party versions of the same old, like if those.
Because they're already available from Samsung, I don't think it's gonna happen. Because like Anthony's saying, that's probably how they're making a lot of their money back by pricing the device.
Accessories. It's always accessories. Yeah, that's
it's a downsell.
It seems very clear to me at the $1,800 price point, because I was expecting it to be recently within the last 3 months. I expected it to be $2,200. It's very clear that they're hitting a very aggressive price point, especially knowing what tech is in the device.
Yeah. Compared
to the Apple Vision Pro,
which still brings up my biggest issue with it, and it's probably a non-issue, but it bothers me on a visceral level that it's got basically the same processor as the Quest 3. It's like a slightly enhanced version of the Quest 3's processor.
Yeah,
and it's been years.
Here's the thing, though,
and
there isn't anything else.
I agree.
There literally isn't another.
But it's hard to spend.
Snapdragon.
It's like, okay, the Quest 3 is $500,
yeah.
and this is 4 times that price, effectively.
But it's still half of an AVP with foveated.
Here's the thing: is that it's got about 15% to 20% extra processing power over the Quest 3, but it also has dynamic foveated rendering. So they're going to be able to eke out another 15 to 20% out of that.
And so what's the trade-off between an AVP and it's the reverse, right? Like.
Sure.
You're getting more pixels, but you're not getting as much power.
What you're paying for in that device is that ultra high resolution panel.
Yes.
In the GalaxyXR, because it has.
Assuming everything else works well, like if the hand tracking works, if all the so many things have to come together. Like this is definitely not a spec sheet product. We were kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Or it's not a spec sheet market. It is a spec sheet product. It feels like. So I'm curious to see what it actually is, because there was this thing that we were talking about earlier that like if you want to get 90 frames per second or
there was something
I had to put a support ticket in
when I first was looking at the
90 hertz
specs yesterday. There was something really that stuck out to me that was really sort of very strange, and it's right here. The refresh rate on the device supports 60 hertz, 72 hertz, which is the default, and then 90 hertz up to upon service request. And that last line is very troubling.
Yeah.
Because I will say, and everyone who knows VR technology, 90 really is where you want to be. 72 is a legacy thing. It's like, that's like the least possible that is good. And the current, the current, understand, real quick. Yeah. The current understanding about the technology is that 120 hertz is when you stop getting motion sick. Yeah.
Pea soup.
Yeah, you end up looking like the Exorcist.
So staying below 120 for an extended period of time, at least for me, has been just wow! What a wonderful night that was. Drinking. And thinking about but
what are you talking about?
I get sick at below 90.
Yeah, I'm so like this is something like we've talked about it before. I've been using VR for 10 plus years now. I still get sim sickness and VR sickness from games, and some videos and stuff. Anthony, seems like you get less.
Yeah, for some
It
reason.
seems like you get effectively the same as me.
It's because I don't get behind the wheel that way. You know, like and also sim sickness. We should clarify. It's not like sim sickness, electronic arts sim sickness. This is like
Sim Sickness 4.
yeah, moving forward and backward.
It
Well,
feels
playing
like you're.
Quake 3
It
is
feels like
that.
you're
Yeah.
speaking Simlish,
Yeah.
a different language.
I think I understand
Yeah.
that you can get sick at with these.
What we're
specs. It's
saying
not
is that,
really
like,
good for you.
only having 90 hertz available upon a service ticket request. What does that even mean? Does it mean that running the panel above that isn't like supported via the warranty or something, or like?
My guess is it's going to greatly impact battery life, and they wanted to keep a certain number for battery life.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
running
why-
that, and this is another thing, is that, like, if they can barely push this many pixels, why did they run with a higher,
With better
like
snap.
with so many more pixels than even the Apple Vision Pro?
Yeah.
Because right here it's that it's got 3552 by 3840, 27 million pixels.
Yeah.
That's, I think, like 30% more than even the
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
My eyebrows are raised.
That's totally unnecessary if your chipset is that
Can't
much
quite do it. Yeah.
that much power differential between the
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro.
So this is my like fear with this headset. That's why I'm waiting on reviews. I want to see like more and
Yeah.
more about it because it seems like they went for numbers and not necessarily.
I will say, I am still very, very interested in it. And
I mean, I am too, but I am dubious.
There's two reasons why. Is that the Quest is a great device, but it is held back by the panels in it and by its lack of eye tracking. Those two things together, if Quest 3 had just maybe been $100 more and shipped with eye tracking and slightly better panels, I think none of this would have mattered. They would have won the generation by.
The problem is they had already done the Quest Pro, which flopped
Yeah.
for the same reason I'm worried about this one because they used yesteryear's processor
Yeah.
in the Pro, and most likely whatever the next Quest device is, there probably won't be another Quest Pro, but I think there's even rumors that they might not even do Quest anymore. It'll just be like they'll have one headset, and the next version will be that, and the next version will be a Quest 3 or 4, whatever. Maybe this same processor, but with eye tracking, and they might.
The leaks right now is that the next Meta device is called Puffin, and it's targeting, competing with Apple Vision Pro and GalaxyXR.
Right.
And that the Quest 4, if it ever comes, which I actually think that they will always have a Quest device.
I mean,
I think it's their flagship.
It's got name recognition. That's the thing. Like that's what I'm thinking of. So.
But what they will do is they'll let other manufacturers iterate with Horizon OS.
Yeah.
Running the same software.
But I'm just curious to see, are we going to see something 9/10 as good as the Galaxy XR next year or whatever coming from Meta for $800 or something like that?
I don't think they're ever going to, at least with this device, I think Meta has seen that they can charge more, and so they're going to.
Yep.
But have they though? Because like they've sold way fewer Quest 3s than they have Quest 2s because of the price difference.
But like to your point, they're
Well,
coming with one new headset next year. And
however, they've sold
price point.
a shitload of 3Ss.
Right, but still not as many 2s yet, right? Because like that is the price point, the price sensitivity. It's not so much because the Quest 3S is now basically what the Quest 2 was, right?
Yeah.
Price-wise.
I mean, we'll really see how much the VR market over time. Because here's the thing: is like, just in general, nobody's making $200 anything anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And like even the Switch is $449 now.
Yeah.
Switch 2 is $449.
Yeah.
And so like even low end consumer electronics devices can't even get into the $300 market anymore.
Right.
And I think what's really clear is that Meta is able to make so much back on attachment rates because supposedly Quest devices have one of the highest software attachment rates of any consumer electronic devices, which I think is really fascinating. That they're really willing to undercut that price. However, I don't think they're going to be able to deliver at those prices for much longer. Just in terms of just like where the entire market is going. Like, I don't think we'll ever see another Quest device for less than $300 after the Quest 3S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Yeah. Since their game seems to be like selling games and substituting the headset from that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where they're selling the most headsets. So.
There are a lot of other interesting things here. Like, it ships with 16 gigabytes of memory and 256 gigabytes of storage. The storage is really sort of questionable there because if you're taking all these like 3D photos and videos, even on the device, that stuff is huge. I mean, 3D video is much bigger than regular video.
Yeah.
Though I guess I actually didn't see if there was any confirmation that you can even take 3D photos on the device. I would assume you can.
You think? Yeah.
I just haven't heard anything explicitly mentioned about it.
Do we even know if like it has a HDMI pass through out and like
so there is a USB port on the top of the device. It does not allow charging. The only way you can charge the device is through the mandatory attached dongle. The headset itself does not have any internal battery, so if you remove that battery, the device stops working.
Oh, that's interesting because I thought
not hot swappable.
That was the whole rumor. That was like, okay, cool, it's gonna be hot swappable. That's a great,
so it's
great
not
differentiator from the AVP.
It can be charged while playing though.
Yeah.
By any 45-watt charger. So it is not hot swappable, which sucks.
That stinks. Yeah.
I think the hot swappable rumor was for Steam Frame.
I mean, we talked because I was actually going over the last podcast we just shot and we talked about it for this today. Yeah.
Okay, well I guess we were wrong.
Yeah. Well, everybody was clearly. It wasn't our rumor. That was...
and it's sort of silly. Why not just put a small battery in there? You know, like sometimes the design decisions
it's an odd animal.
are really baffling.
Yeah. Put 100 milliamp hour battery, just enough to go click click. You know, like just to do this.
There is a USB port on the top right of the device on the support thing, and it does not allow for charging. It is a data port. We don't know anything else about the data port. I highly doubt that it's got DisplayPort at.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly just because I don't think that they can run the device in a way. If they put DisplayPort in there, people would expect something out of that device to do something in a specific way. And until we get confirmation, which I strongly doubt is going to be confirmed, because
it might be one of those things that works, but like only somebody's going to be like, "Oh, I found out that it works. You can do this." But they're not going to advertise it because they would have to support it. And
it's like the HDMI link on Quest 3. That's a hack.
Yeah.
Like they enabled that after the fact.
Yeah.
So they might be able to do something like that with this port. I don't know. That'll have to do with like
so many unknowns at this point.
On service request.
Yeah, exactly.
So here was something that was interesting, is that the field of view is 109 degrees horizontal and 100 degrees vertical. Compare that to Quest 3 field of view. It has 110 for horizontal field of view, so it's only 1 degree less horizontal. What is the vertical?
Not a square?
Not a square? What do you mean?
Like it's not the same, horizontal and vertical.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's actually more than the Quest 3 vertical. Because it says the Quest 3 has a vertical field of view of 96 degrees. So it's got slightly less to the side, only 1 degree less, and more vertical.
Yeah.
Which means it's got much better field of view than the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Apple Vision Pro has wide field of view horizontal, but I think it's like 100 degree, or it's like 90 degrees field of view.
Something like that. Yeah.
Vertical. Yeah.
Those 5 to 10 degrees are the difference between like being in a that and seeing like the sun kind of getting in your eyes in the real world, and then that happening in, is that what we're Is that the difference?
I don't. I haven't done enough headsets and gone back and forth. I feel like either way, those few degrees are probably not that noticeable. Like
Probably not.
I've never been
honestly.
like, whoa, the Apple Vision Pro's got way less field of view than the Quest. Like
Mhm.
it's always been.
Well,
about
I've
the
noticed.
same.
I definitely have noticed the vertical field of view.
Yeah.
Um,
But I can't say that I have. But I have to go back and forth with the intention of looking for that.
I only bring that up because I think this is like a productivity product. I don't think it's a cinema product. It's if they did
Well,
that,
they're
that's
trying to do both. I think they're actually trying to do both. Like, I mean, that AVP is definitely like geared towards productivity. And then, we listened to a comment earlier. They say like nobody's buying headsets for productivity, right? So this seems like they're going for a little bit of that, and then plenty of entertainment. Like, hence the controllers, hence all the game support, hence YouTube support.
yeah, I mean,
Like
day
Netflix is
one,
going to be 4K
day
out of the
one.
box.
that's true.
So they have a lot more like third-party support than anything else really at this point. Like this will be the only headset you can just buy that you can watch like Netflix through their app in 4K, which is bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, out of the box, day one, there are almost 20 VR games that are available for
Yeah.
Android XR. Like, just to read them off here: NFL Pro era, Inside Job. Okay,
What's Inside Job?
only a couple.
Vacation Simulator.
It's from the same people who made Job Simulator. Yeah.
These are all Android XR games. Are these Android XR
Okay,
games?
so here's every Galaxy XR game. Arizona Sunshine Remake and Arizona Sunshine 2. Asteroid. Oh, this is interesting. This actually comes with the device if you buy it. It's a immersive film experience with Ron Perlman, Haley Stanfield, and DK Metcalf. It's a group of strangers risk everything by flying an old rocket to mine a near-Earth asteroid. Yeah, so it's like a immersive VR game experience thing. That's pretty cool. Brink Traveler, Broken Spectre Director's Cut. That game got really good reviews. I haven't checked it out yet. New RTS called Crystal Commanders. I actually saw this. I saw it on the Meta store before I saw it announced on. So it looks like they announced it on both platforms at the same time. And then Cubism, classic. Demio. I love Demio. Such a fun game. I never played enough. Yeah. Drunken Bar Fight, another classic. Enigma, which looks like a 2D puzzle game. Exercise Your Demons. FitXR. FitXR is also a classic. I use that. Well, I need to be using it more if I tell you. Flappy XR. God of Riffs. Looks like like a music-based action game. Green Hell VR, I played that. It's fun. Inside Job. Looks like a new game from... Oh, it's a mixed reality game from creators of Job Simulator, which that should be fun.
Okay, so I'm convinced this is actually now a gaming device.
Job Simulator, Laser Matrix.
Actually, wait a minute.
Light
It
Sport.
Is, yeah.
Mirror Escape, looks like a horror game. NFL Pro Era, which actually comes with the purchase of the device. No More Rainbows. Pencil. Real VR Fishing. Soulspire. Synth Riders. Love Synth Riders. Synth Riders is an absolute amazing day one purchase game.
Yeah.
Love it. I lost 20 pounds during COVID playing Synth Riders. Curious Tale. Thrasher. Titan Isles.
And you're getting all this from Upload VR?
Walkabout Mini Golf. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so this is absolutely a gaming device if you have the controllers.
Yeah.
Though I think actually a lot of those games.
Probably do some decent hand tracking on certain things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have a bunch of your experiences launch day one, you want them to be usable on your device without.
Especially because they sold out of the controllers immediately.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't anyone just want to pair their...
It seems to me like this device is really trying to be multiple things.
Yeah.
It's trying to be a video watching device, thus the panels. And also I saw that it supports HDR10 and HLG.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hybrid log gamma.
Hyper log gamma. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like an expanded. It's like it's hard to explain very quickly, but it's like it's a way of doing. It's like Rec 709 but expanded. So it's like kind of a cross between Rec 709 and like log video,
Okay.
you get higher highlights basically. Yeah,
Hmm.
brighter highlights.
But it's
So it's kind of it's in the same realm as HDR. Like it's just hyper log, so you just get more. Yeah.
on their camera.
No, it's just that's why I said interesting because I've only ever seen hyperlog gamma as a camera capture setting, not a display setting.
Yeah.
But I'm
which
starting to see it more here and there, so it might mean something slightly different in the display world versus capture.
Yeah.
would be new to me.
Um,
The Sony thing.
So it's trying to be a lot of.
so,
broadly
also
appealing.
supposedly the pass-through cameras are very, very high resolution. They're more high resolution.
In the class.
Someone compared them to the pass-through cameras on the Apple Vision Pro, but they said the color accuracy was much more accurate than on Apple Vision Pro.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
And then it's got like just drag and drop prescription inserts that you don't have to purchase at the time of the device and aren't tied to the device, which I think that whole system on Apple Vision Pro, like, why didn't they just do that?
Yeah,
Like,
insertables.
it doesn't make sense. Yeah,
Well,
like
just-
like my headset.
It does stink, but remember, it was always supposed to be like a developer device.
Yeah.
That's why it was so custom out of the gate. It is frustrating because people want the device, but yes, that stinks.
It
The
doesn't-
fact that you have to like get a seal that's custom to your face, which is kind of a cool thing, but then again, yeah, handing it off to somebody else or even selling the thing becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Why would I want to randomly hand my Apple Vision Pro to my friend, the
So-
non-developer?
So it supports. It also
You have no friends.
Right.
it supports
Exactly.
uh, 8K 60 frames per second video, which I mean probably supports more than that. That's doing immersive video. That's actually something that we haven't been sure about. Is what are the upper limits of its immersive video playback capabilities? Like it does say here that it supports H263, H264, HEVC, MV HEVC, MPEG-4, VC1, VP8, VP9, and AV1.
Interesting.
So MV HEVC. So will it support Apple immersive video? Probably not. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's,
well, I mean, Apple won't
proprietary.
support them, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
but you know, it might be, but it might be giving like, that's good though, because like if you have an Ursa immersive and you're creating for the Apple pipeline, and you can just be like, oh, this also works for Android XR, that's great. So
Yeah.
if they're adopting the standard, then that's good.
MV
MVHVC.
Yeah. And it also says it's got all of the like immersive, like many audio playback formats, including Dolby Digital AC3, Dolby Digital Plus, and Dolby Atmos at launch. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I tried out that blue the Blumhouse thing, and man, the spatial audio in that with the Dolby Atmos, well done.
Nice.
Like that was the most impressive thing about the entire thing, was the Atmos literally felt like it was pixel perfect.
Nice.
Like it came from exactly the source.
Nice.
It was the best, probably the most impressive audio that I'd ever heard in VR, in that Blumhouse horror thing. And so also the headset has Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7. So that Wi-Fi 7 thing, that's actually a huge deal, because if you have a Wi-Fi 7 router, you can get that latency down to like some of the lowest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's still based on what your rendering time is. So like, and out of the box, this Android XR supports virtual desktop and PC Link. So like, you'll just be able to have a virtual monitor or play virtual desktop day one.
Yeah. It does what like the Prism XR would do. Or like we're streaming off Wi-Fi 6 right now, and we had issues.
Well, that's more of the implementation of their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is not a good criticism of
This is-
Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, seriously. Wi-Fi 6,
Really?
I get great
Yeah.
latency with Wi-Fi 6.
I don't even have problems. I'm not even on Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah.
That's interesting because, well, you know, what's interesting here is 70 millimeter inner pupillary. I mean, I'm actually 6'9",
Oh, so
And you
you're
can't
like
get
the-
that in the Quest. Yeah,
You can't.
no, you
Oh,
can't
wow.
get there. It's
Huh.
it's why it's one of the reasons I honestly didn't even get prescriptive lenses, which I wouldn't be able to insert with like the new ones the ones you have that are magnetic are cool. It's like, well, if my pupillary distance isn't going to work, then why would I do that? So it's opening up a market there.
What do you mean?
When you get your eyes I don't know if anyone here has it,
Well,
glasses,
on the
but
Quest 3, it's got pancake lenses, so the sweet spot is all the way up to the edges.
so it doesn't matter if I ever change
Yeah,
the
it
PD.
shouldn't matter. I mean, you should put it as far out as you can,
Hmm.
but you should still be fine.
So even with the pancake lens, so why is there a PD adjustment?
That's just
Yeah.
it's like a default. It's so that people with like 74 like
Huh.
don't use it. That's just like the extremes. You're still within that bounds.
It's interesting. I always thought you needed to adjust that in order to like.
I mean, you should adjust it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like as long as you have it all the way out, you should be fine.
So the Quest only goes up to like 65.
Well, that's for the actual in between, but you can, like I said,
Yeah.
the pancake lenses have sweet spots all the way up to almost the outer edge.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah. Tech support.
so it's also, here's the other thing,
Uh,
is that it's 1.2 pounds, so it's dramatically lighter than the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
And this is
No surprise there.
everyone that's mentioned this has said it is much, much, much more comfortable and lighter, literally lighter,
Yeah.
than the Apple.
But wait. Can we back to vision correction? As like, does it have the same thing that the vision, like the Viture does, where you can adjust the diopter on your lenses?
No, it doesn't have myopia correction.
It doesn't.
No.
Okay. Well,
And the myopia correction on those glasses isn't even a good implementation because I have myopia and astigmatism.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect for astigmatism at all. But even the myopia adjustment didn't work in the way that I wanted it to. So when I would try to get it plugged in, it still didn't work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on.
Yeah. So it's much lighter. It seems like it's generally everyone who said it just feels better to wear.
Which is even more significant because the sort of whatever the refresh of the AVP is actually like 150 grams heavier.
Yeah, and I
For some
did
reason.
read that it's because of the tungsten insert. Did you hear about this?
No.
So the head strap, the extra weight that you're talking about,
Yeah.
actually comes from flexible tungsten that they put in the
Ah.
mesh on the back of the headset as counterweight.
Interesting. Okay.
However, I'm a little dubious about that.
I mean, that it makes more sense than like somehow the chip is heavier. I mean, that's all
Yeah.
they changed was the chip.
No, from what I read, or I was watching the tested review of it, and they said that the new head strap makes Apple Vision Pro much more comfortable.
Good. Huh.
Yeah. So it seems like now that the Galaxy XR is out, all the AI stuff, whatever, I don't care about that stuff at all. It seems like we finally have a well-rounded device that can stand toe-to-toe with at least the other devices on the market in some ways. I would say personally, probably most ways.
Yeah.
I haven't used the device yet, so I don't know. This is all
Yeah,
speculation.
we have a lot of
I am definitely interested in getting one. We'll see what reviews are, what the prices end up looking like, and I also want to see how many people return it, because as we know with Apple Vision Pro, everyone that we know that had one returned it.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of those are just influencers doing their thing and then returning it.
That's true. Yeah.
But I know like somebody like Adam is a better example.
Well,
because
I mostly
he
was talking
wanted
about
to
that.
like the
He
thing.
really
and
wanted
just
to like it.
didn't work. For
Like,
him, so.
is motion persistence going to be an issue on this device
Right.
as well?
Right. Exactly.
It's using similar panel tech, so
Yeah. You'd hope not. You'd hope that after a few years they got it. But yeah, there's a lot of wait and see. I think on this one.
yeah.
But I'm excited. I mean, I want it to be good.
Yeah,
Like-
I want it to be good too, especially at that better price point because $1,800 is a lot easier to stomach than $3,400. and especially if this is ever going to stop being like an enthusiast market, we have to have better products. And mind you, obviously, this is 4 times the cost of the Quest 3, but it's also a device that I think has a much more there's much more you can do with it in the ways that the device was designed to do.
Yeah.
Like the HDR implementation. So it's excellent for watching videos. It's powerful enough to play games that look better than Quest 3 games. You know, that'll be another proof of the pudding, is how good do games look with dynamic foveated rendering on this device.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that they probably look like low spec PC or mid spec PC versus like the Quest version of a game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna you don't have a 3080 in there or a 5090, so you actually might be able to get 3080 performance, but definitely not 5090 performance. So it's very much a wait and see type of situation, but I'm excited. I like the price point. And it's really going to be interesting to see what the larger market looks at.
Mm-hmm.
How the basic consumer looks at this device. Is it going to be something that they care about at all? You know, the economy is pretty rocky right now.
Yeah.
And I think $1,800 on a face computer, a lot of people might say is unreasonable.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing the bounds for me. You know,
Yeah.
if it was like awesome, then sure. But like,
Yeah.
That's why I gotta wait and see.
I mean, and then we'll also see what the Steam frame is going to look like.
Right.
I mean, the rumors are that it's going into mass production right now. So it's definitely an interesting time, because it seems like all the refresh of the Apple Vision Pro, Steam frame eventually, and this being here right now, is that the next year is going to be really interesting for VR to see how it evolves with this new tech, but also are consumers going to be able to afford it.
But this is all despite, all the journalists going, VR is dead for the 100th time.
Yeah, and
clearly these things
honestly,
are still moving and still...
I never put a lot of faith into those things.
Well, it's just it's like a trope at this point. Like,
It's very much a trope.
I don't know what to write about. Let's talk about VR being dead again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of it for our spooky episode. Woo! Hope you guys like it. It's pretty spooky.
Pretty spooky.
Yeah. Got these costumes. All right, and that being said, for the Stereoscope Podcast Spooky Edition, I'm the Wolfman.
I'm Ghostface.
Jason.
See you later.
Figure out how to turn this thing off.
You win.